Hi, it's me, Lorna again. I'm finally finished those journals and I just wanted to do a quick little video to show them off. They're made with a vintage quilt. This quilt was well loved and washed hundreds of times, and I know this because this quilt has been on my bed for almost 20 years and I couldn't bear to part with it. But it was time. It was actually past time. So made from vintage quilts, and I did a snippet roll closure, and there's just some little fabrics here. So they're very girly, very frilly, very lacy. So let's dive into them. I did make 6, but 3 are already spoken for. So these are the 3 that will be going in my shop. Just bring the camera in a little bit more. So these are all going to be called A Touch of France, just because I've included a lot of antique French pieces. So just little cabinet cards from my digital kit, some embossing of the tag, and some little tags. I'm only going to show one in detail, and then the other 2 I'll just flip through really quickly. All the journals are pretty much exactly the same. They all have the same elements, so you can see the little crocodile. It's just a little mini journal. Some bits and pieces. It's an antique book of typeface. So there's the little notebook. It's just embossed on some vellum. So just pages in there. Some antique ledger pieces. Sorry. Hard to get my hands to do what it is I want them to do most days. And just a little tag and some vintage buttons. And you can see some embossing here. Antique French dictionary page. Antique French book. This little lace bits. This is antique German ledger. It's from the 1800s. Just a little wax seal, just a tag. Some little bits. An antique letter. This is French. That's how they would have wax sealed it closed. This one is from 1891. So all the journals have these elements, not the exact same, but very similar. It's just a tag. Antique Polish book. antique German book pages. An embossed tag. Oops. Lost my cough drop there for a second. Trying not to cough all over your journals. Not because of COVID, because of my lungs are crap. This little tuck spot with some little tags. Antique ledger, 1902. An antique letter. It's 1936. Well, not quite antique yet, but almost. Some little beads. French postcard. And just some journaling cards. And some vintage wallpaper. Just a little lace card. Some tags. Antique French. This is rag paper. So this book was from the mid 1800s. Just a little envelope with a 1930s Rolodex card. So I just sewed lace onto it. This is actually antique copy paper. It's from 1884, and this is real. What they would have done was they would have put the letter down, they would have put this piece of tissue paper over the top, and then they would have pressed it and then made a copy for the office and a copy for the client. So some of my lace digital papers. A lace tag, just some little bits. A French card, vocab card. This is a little envelope. An antique picture, or it came out of a photo book. This would have been in Paris. Just a little tag. And then just a piece of journaling paper, one of my digitals. Just some more tags, some more vintage lace, vintage buttons. I know I overstuffed the journals again. I am definitely guilty of overstuffing, but my intention is that you can take all these bits and pieces out and use them in different, so some vintage music sheet, antique ledger, more antique ledger. It's a little wax seal. Some vintage wallpaper. So you can take any of the pieces out. I included lots of book pages and things for you to use in your own projects. Antique German book. Another little tag. Just a journaling card. And this is a antique French ledger, hospital ledger. It's also a digital kit in my shop, but this is authentic one. Just some antique receipts. These are from the 1800s. $18.95 ledger paper. Some French and French dictionary. More French paper, coffee dye, French dictionary. And you can see a little bit of embossing on there. Just some journaling cards. These were some leftover pieces, so I just wanted to use everything up. I have way too much stuff. So a little key and a little tag. Little journaling card. So a little price tag. Some embossed paper for you to play with. Antique French children's school notes. And a Bank of Canada check from 1940. My digital lace papers. This is the digital Art Nouveau. A little bit of embossing on the back. The glassine is embossed. This is an antique French page. A shorthand book. Coffee dye. This little bit of snippet. Flashcard, little tag. And some cute little tags and vintage buttons on the side. This is vintage braille paper that I found. This is a document from 1991. No, pretty sure it's older than that. That's the amount of money. I can't find the date right now, but it is an antique French document. It would have been late 1700s, early 1800s. So some French flashcards, an American flashcard, ledger, another antique document. And this is made of that beautiful rag paper. A cotton rag. Just a little tag I made to make it look like a vintage screen door, so you can see I did some crackling paste and on it, some embossed tags. Vintage postcard. I have no idea. Just a journal card. Here's another piece of that pressed coffee paper from 1881. More ledger, 1911. More embossed. Another little embossed tag, 1934. And then just some antique. This is a book of etiquette. Oh, give up. So another one of those antique French letters. And this one was 1884. Little tags. Little bits of tear paper. More coffee dye. And this is just a little journal of coffee dyed papers. Some little tags. Some glassine. More antique ledger, 1924. More ledger. More glassine. More antique French children's school notes. These were early 1900s, like 1901 or something. More coffee dyed. Little doily button snippet. Just a whole bunch of little tags. Another journal card. These are Dutch soap cards. They would have come with a bar of soap. Some journaling cards. Just some little tags. A little bit of collage on the back. More antique ledger. A French postcard. And they are all early 1900s. Some antique book pages, journal card, some beads on the end, some more French paper, some antique German book page, a little snippet. There's that braille paper again with a little Eiffel Tower. French vocab card, just a little from one of my digitals. Antique French book, and some antique blank ledger. Shorthand, ledger, antique French document, just a journal card. And they all have vintage French postcard or stamps on them. So just a little flip out for you to put a photo or something in, just a little envelope. And there, can't get it, is the embossed seal that says created with authentic vintage items, tailor-made journals. And then more book pages, some more rag paper, antique French book, and another French book pages for you to play with, collage with, create with. So just some embossing with crackle paste. Just a little collaged card on the back. And then it folds out into just a little journal. So that's the first one. We're already 18 minutes, oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the second one, so you can see the snippet. Just some sari silk, those tags. So you can see they're all very much the same. Just obviously the authentic stuff is going to be a bit different, but the same. So, it's the wax seal and the tags. One of those French letters. Some more journaling cards. Threads everywhere now. Waist pockets are very hard to put things into. Just some journaling cards. I had to reinforce it because the pages were so old they were cracking. Just some journal cards, little tag, little key. So you can see they have all the same elements, just slightly different. Little snippets, little flip rail. The French flashcards, antique French letter, document, little tags, a vintage postcard, just one of those tissue copy papers, the antique ones. I bought a whole book of those, it was amazing. Some more embossing. Another antique French receipt. Just one of those little journals. Some glassine. More glassine. More antique French paper. All those little cards. More of those touch soap cards. So you can see all the little tags. More embossing. Another antique French postcard. Some beads. Some German paper and French antique book paper. Little snippet. More antique French paper. There's that braille. There's a little Eiffel Tower and a tag. They're one of those pockets for you to put a photo in. Another one of those mini journals. And some more antique book pages. And the last one that will be in my shop. And these should be listed tomorrow. The 21st of August. So very much the same, just a little bit different. Sorry. Stay in frame would be awesome. Another French postcard. Some more of that antique ledger. One of those lace envelopes. A little snippet. My lace paper that I have in the shop. Stuck a little bit there. Some more tags. One of those lace tags. As you can see. Little tags, journal cards. I felt thicker than I should have. More of those antique French receipts. More French papers. More antique French paper. Shorthand book. Flashcard. Good snippet. More antique French paper. I have a lot of antique French papers. More French flashcards. I'm addicted to all things French, I'm afraid. More antique French document, and this is on that rag paper. It's so pretty. And one of those tags. Some embossed tags. Vintage postcard. Some of that copy paper. 1911 ledgers, some more embossing, another French receipt, a little journal, some glassine, ledger, French school notes. Little snippet. Another one of those tags. And those Dutch soap cards. Another French postcard and some book pages. The braille paper, little Eiffel Tower, some more vintage and antique papers. This is the only one I signed on the back. Of course, the first one you do differently than all the rest, right? So that's it. That is those 3 journals, and they are huge. And they will be in my shop tomorrow on Etsy, TaylorMade Journals. Thanks for hanging in there. And took me months to make these, so I'm glad they're finally finished. Okay, have a great week. Bye.